Hey, St. Mark's Cathedral. Uh, it's great to try. I hope this works. This is going to be the most rough video think I've ever done to try to give you a response to these questions, but I'm just honored to be able to do it. And I'm sorry I can't be there with you in person. Hopefully, while you're watching this, I'll be at St. Stephen's Oak Harbor, dedicating their window and doing baptisms and dedicating a font with that. And actually, your community had a lot to do with making that happen up there, so we really appreciate that. I think the first question you ask is, how did I become so authentic? And I think the question or the answer might be that to many people, they'd have to answer that question, not me. But I'm honored to be asked it with the idea that perhaps I am authentic at some point. Um, and I think really it does come from our faith, our Anglican tradition and our Episcopal faith, because to me it's very incarnational, it's very earthy. It happens to be materialistic in the best sense of that word, and so for me, authenticity is built into that. And so, one thing I love about being Episcopalian, being Anglican, is that we have a tendency to be all of those things. And part of that is being authentic. It's not hiding from the fact that the world that we live in calls on us to be in it and part of it while carrying our faith with us. And I'd say it's that, and it's also people in my life that have modeled the faith for me in a very authentic way. And so I've looked up to them, and as many of us do, we try to emulate them in our lives. Probably one very, very significant one to me is Father Trabu, who was the rector of my Catholic high school in Little Rock. It's where your dean also went to high school. And for me, Father Trabu was a very important figure in my life of leading me in faith, but also modeling what it was to be a leader and to be an authentic leader. And there are many, many others in my life that did that, including my mother, who I would say helped me be a very authentic person too. So I'm humbled by the question because I think we're always striving for authenticity, or we should be, and I am, and I don't think I'm always getting there, but I appreciate the question, and that would be, I think the answer I'd give is probably a much longer one that we could have a discussion about, but for me, that would be it. The second part of this question was, what are the important parts of your faith journey? Some of that I just shared. People. Being an incarnational faith, I've often said that for me, I meet God in other people. Everybody sees that differently. Some people meet God in nature and in different things. I certainly see God there, but I think I meet and experience God in other people. And so for me, that's been a very important part of my faith journey. I'm a flaming extrovert on the Myers-Briggs, and I think flaming extroverts tend to relate to God that way through people. I get energy that way, and I see God and hear and listen to God through other people. So that's a very important part of my faith journey. Any stories I would tell about it would revolve around relationships that I've had with people that have taught me many, many things. So that would be an important part. The last part of this question was, would I ever come to St. Mark's and share my faith journey? When I first read that, I said, well, I've been doing that for 8 or 9 years, but I think I know what you're asking, and the answer is, of course, anytime. Related to that last thing I just said, relationships are very important to me, and that's how we share our faith, is by telling our stories, hearing our stories, probing with questions. And so I'm honored to do that with you today, and I hope that this has done just a little bit to answer that question. And if you have more, we can certainly, I hope we get to do it in person at some point, but I can certainly follow up with those. So for now, that would be my answer to question number 1 that you gave me. Thank you.